interesting because the first conversation Matt and I had were about hero and villain and the two sides of trauma.
Hi, my name's Olivia and I'm from Cineworld, and we are very excited to be bringing the Batman to Cineworlds across the UK.
Police! Hands up! Stay still! Get out of here!
How did you both feel when you found out you'd be in a franchise as well known as the Batman?
I was actually sitting in a car with my wife and my father in the back seat, and I got this weekend phone call, and I had this 2-hour car ride with them where I was just sort of had that schoolboy, I can't believe, is this really, are we gonna, when do we go? Are we gonna go to, where are we filming? When do we go? How long do I have to prepare? What's the, oh my goodness, so I was really, it was a true, it was a high, and I haven't felt that way that many times, that there was something really special about getting that call.
This is about a king, and Riddler's the match.
I can take care of myself.
If this continues, it won't be long before you've nothing left.
I don't care what happens to me.
It's only gonna get worse for you.
Whoa, take it easy, sweetheart. Hear everything they say, ain't you?
Maybe we're not so different. Who are you under there?
And Jeffrey, how did you feel?
I felt particularly good. I was a massive Batman fan as a kid, but I felt particularly excited because of the script that Matt Reeves had written, our director. I felt really excited to be a part of this vision for the characters and for the franchise, because really, when I read the script, the description of the Batmobile, which is, iconic, like central, but the description was so informative for me of the larger vision for the film, because it just had a practicality, it was grounded, it was amped up, but it was something you could touch, this hyped up muscle car that you could, imagine Bruce Wayne crafting, down in the Batcave, with his own hands. It just had a tangibility to it and an aesthetic to it that I read throughout the entire script. And I understood that we were going for something that maybe hadn't been done before, but something that had an authenticity to it that would breathe new life into the franchise. So I was like, yeah, this is Batman, and it's going to be something a bit special.
I'm vengeance. What's black and blue and dead all over?
Without giving away any spoilers, obviously, one of you is kind of playing a police officer and one of you is playing a villain. But I was just wondering if you thought there were any similarities between your characters.
Similarities between your villainous Riddler and my
Wow. Well, that's
honorable Jim
That's
Gordon.
interesting because the first conversation Matt and I had were about hero and villain and the two sides of trauma. And I don't know that it was in relationship to our friend Gordon here, but I do think that your question is a line that Matt Reeves was interested in the writing. and sort of, rather than it being just super black and white, let's protect the status quo, and it's kind of easy, there's heroes and there's villains. I think there's something more complicated at work, potentially, just in sort of the way that Batman is challenged by what the villain in this film is doing, or who he's going after, at least. So I like your question, and I certainly, the relationship of that to the Batman is something I thought a lot about while making it. I've not thought about it in relationship to Gordon. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that if you look at Gordon in kind of some of the later, more contemporary comics, there's an exploration of the private life versus the public that I find really interesting, and speaks to, in some ways, in the opposite of the kind of villainous arc, where the villain is acting on the trauma, and as well our hero too. But in this case, Paul, the Riddler, is driven by trauma. And I do wonder if within Gordon, as with many cops, who takes in trauma every day, practically on some level, I do wonder what that does to the individual in private. The uniform and, Gordon's thing and his public projection is very clear. But I do wonder if there's a price that's paid for that, kind of in the inverse of the way in which the Riddler presents himself to the world.
That's all we have time for today, but thank you so much for talking to me, and I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I got you!